Good morning, sunshine. Hi there, Pisces, and welcome into my channel. I'd like to invite you into Joy to the World. I am Melissa Joy, and I am your reader here to talk about some things on the horizon. And what is that? It's a little bit of magic. It's about the magic in your hand, because it seems some burdens have been cleared off your heart, moved out of the way. Maybe like tape sealing a box, and you're like, well, it's supposed to be there if you keep it closed. But it's evidence and shown that you're opening your heart, and that's beginning a new journey here for you. You've crossed that road of indecision, of staying there stuck at that fork, not knowing which way to go and what to do, how to move about. Like in my case, I was used to life always being about everyone else. It could be about me as long as it was included with everyone else. Like that's the new passage of this, what we could call Age of Aquarius or Plasma. But Plasma was just the entry point to where you can step into creatorship, creator of the heart, this new life coming forward to begin to, we would say, transform, changing your mind, moving out of the old and into the new. And how do we move into the new? Well, if I tell you that, then we get a little excited, right? Moving into the unknown can be a little daunting, but they're the same thing. And it shouldn't be scary, because the unknown is knowable. When is it known? When you do it. All right? So that's an idea for you. But here at the bottom, it's talking about this new love, this new feeling of life loving you back, of coming towards you. Maybe a big, strong, we're going to leave these up as accessory cards, a big, strong and shift and change from it having been so serious, so stuck, so perpetual. Who's been stuck in the perpetual? Like that whole thing, the key is right there. But see, she's got a different perspective. This person right here, you, is looking at it through the eyes of others, looking at it through experience, what reality has proven to you, what the status quo has shown you, maybe other people's verbal limitations, comments, stigma that's been going on, but taking a look directly at this new golden door. Look. See, that's you, kind of like in your golden egg, your golden self. It's going through here. See, Five of Pentacles, it means the power is in your hand, but there's an opening. There's an opening, a connection that is beginning to happen for you. And I can see that you're aware of that. Look at it starting to happen. If you're not feeling it yet, this video is here to help stir you up, to open up. These are eternal, everlasting messages. So it doesn't matter when you show up calendarically. It's when your soul, when your heart calls you. And that is kind of like the lock and key into your part of fortune, into your nature, because that is what we talk about. This channel is one of my gifts. It's about going from the internal personal skeleton closet, right? That skeleton key, you know, keeping it locked up, hidden away, instead of realizing putting it in the dark might have been because of the light of the situation at the time. Because of ignorance, not having the proper wisdom. When you know, then you can go. And that's kind of what she's doing. It's like these, let's surround you here, my friend. Let's surround you with this magic. This is like the world knocking, going, hey, can we come in? Can you come out and play? And this is like going, okay, when you begin to consider it, this new fire lights up in your mind. This new sense of like curiosity, of like, knowing when you go, right? That's that faith principle. That's that action coming together, because I have a feeling this is her face. Do you see? As the hands touch, they collide, they connect. Which I have a message I recorded yesterday, which I may release today or tomorrow, I don't know. But it's one of those chit chats, and it's about the power of creating and how easy it is and how simple it is, and to allow it. Because the letting go can be challenging for some, because we don't understand how and when. It's kind of like you can't just, if you miss your turn on the road, you miss your right-hand turn onto that street, you can't just turn right after it and rip off into somebody's yard or their driveway, right? And that's the thing with spirituality or ascension or growth or enlightenment and all that is it seems that there weren't very clear road signs. And that could cause some reluctance, some reservation, some chaos. So let's get a little bit more into this message for you here, Pisces. Let's get a little bit more into the message for Pisces about this. That is, seems that you have little books, little information nuggets that have been stored away. 9 of Cups, 8 of Wands, 21 the World, and Temperance. It's kind of like you've been slowing your roll, hindering progress, stopping momentum, downplaying your excitement, and putting it all out in different ways. You see what I mean? Maybe, like I said, making about everybody else, like speaking the truth, but not taking time for yourself to embrace it. You know, slowing it down, because Temperance, it can be a good thing, but it can also be a harbor where you sit there and you wait too long until the weather, the environment becomes inhospitable. Like a nor'easter comes whipping in, and then you're not going to go whipping out of the harbor. And it's like, if you wait too long, that nerves of the unknown, that you'll know when you go, that reservation, it could launch you into experiences that affirm that fear, that affirm that worry, that affirm that reservation, right? And so you'll become more and more reserved. You'll become more and more withdrawn, forlorn, you know, yeah, proved it right, don't know why I dreamt or believed or thought it could be any different, that type of thing, okay? But that's one book. That's one theory that you have that we're exposing here, okay, friend? Here's the next one. I don't even know what it is, so let me take a peek. Ooh, the moon, and is that the Ace of Pentacles? Yeah, and the star. Look at that. It's like, as long as it's held in your heart, it seems all magical. All the light is there, but when it comes down to earth, it's like, what do I do with this? It seems very common. It feels magical, but it seems, what's the beginning of that word? S-E-E. It looks common when you hold it in your hand. It looks common on that door, just like a greeting sign. It looks common. But let's just call it ordinary. And you know what? When you hold on to that magic in your heart, rather than holding this out of the ground, it needs to go in to have roots. It needs to make its way up. If you put it together, that's the extraordinary. The extraordinary, right? The extraordinary. So working from that magic place, remember going back to this, the magic place, magic in your hand is in your heart, it's in your mind. Let it all keep together and let this love come forward. The Temperance that you've had here has kind of been a false perception. It's been a projection of sorts. Like, I don't know how and where it happened to you, and that's irrelevant. It's just a matter of bringing it forward right now to recognize, yeah, when I start to feel shining bright, why do I tune it down? When I want to go out, why do I worry about the money? You know? And I'm talking about these unfounded things, people. It might look like it could go either way, and so you choose, like that journey card. 2, jump off the bridge. Jump off the bridge, my friend. Jump off the bridge. That's like no decision is still a decision. But letting the weight, the E-I-G-H-T, that's her suitcase there. All that you're trying to carry with you forward into your new life. Creating that hesitation and making you W-A-I-T. So when you jump, it's when the boat isn't there to catch you. It's like, see, I knew. See, I knew. Trust the magic of your soul's inspiration to lead and guide you at the right time. The moon is about reflection. See how that missed opportunity? It's when you're going out of your reality, because the moon is our reality, is the back of our mind. I'm not talking about the unconscious. I'm talking about the back of our mind. It's what we do when we rest and reflect, right? But to rest and reflect, that is to sit and to experience through your senses what you've lived out throughout the day. The choices that you made and you followed in. That's why here we sometimes recommend doing something as simple as like, oh, when you think you want something and going after that. Like yesterday, I was driving home from the recordings and everything. I was like, oh, I'm going to the donut shop. And I'm like, I am. We are? Okay. That's me talking to myself, right? So I drive on over there and I get there. And then the woman in front of me says, do y'all have coffee? And she adds a coffee to her order. I was like, oh, well, I'm out. Why don't I just order the coffee instead of making it when I get home? I'll have coffee with my donut holes while I'm driving back to the house. And it was a little impromptu date with myself. Look at that. And look how it's beginning to grow. Look at this magic in your hands. Nothing is holding out on you, proving you right. Let's get past the right and the wrong, and let's begin to live, my friends. That's what this horse is about in the back. Because see, the light has become the unicorn horn, the message being sent out, being received, it being heard, being receptive to your soul's inspiration, your spirit's nudges, okay? Now, there was another book, remember? I said there were a few books that popped on out. Ooh, Making Your Mark. Do a little dance, make a little noise. And I can see why. I think this might be the first one that fell out, but they just chunked off everywhere. And so we started with the goods, and now we're going to look at the root. Running from the problems, running from the decision, not having the surety of where to go. Look at all these messages speaking around you. Do I follow my ancestors? Do I listen to the world? Do I listen to my spirit? Do I listen to my guides? Like the owl could go either way. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it death? Is it life? I don't know. Let me look it up and see what the world says on Google instead of sitting there with yourself. So what I'm saying is a very ungrounded, unfounded energy. He's reminding me of this man that I saw years ago. This homeless man that we lived right by the interstate, and we would pass him all the time. And he said his name was Michael, and he said, I don't want you to know my real name, because he had a lot of shame, but we had a lot of love. But see how he's all strapped and booted up? That guy would put multiple rubber bands above his shoes, up his leg, in order to keep the air out so he could try and stay warm. Isn't that wild that this is an air card, the King of Air? To keep the air out so he could stay warm, looking for some grounding instead of this running away. What are you going to tether to, connect to, tie to? I would say Wonkavate. This is like a hot air balloon, the Wonkavator, because you have a point of connection. You have a sense of self. So bringing in the sense of self, and that erupts this magic here. That's like the awakening of your soul and all the bowls flinging out, going, yes, fill me up. I have a home now. Not having to be a vagrant, meaning moving about wherever that you can find what looks like a bit of a handout, what looks like a little bit of a kind of a false hope. It's kind of like some people try and go after the one who's smiling at you because they think, oh, if they're smiling at me, that means they like me, so I can go on over there and I can try that, instead of realizing it's just somebody that may be smiling at everybody, right? They go for what's called low-hanging fruit. I've heard it said before, rudely. But this is you standing taller than the trees in your wisdom and your knowledge of your decision, committing to yourself, to stake the claim, to start it now, claiming your space, that space of your spirit, because it's being brought down into here, giving you place in yourself. There is space and there's room for you, friend. There's room for your delight and your joy and happiness to come into this world, right? All right, Pisces, there's room for you. There is room for you, and not to lock you up, lock you out, whatever door you've been sitting outside of, that is the goldness self. Has all this joy and jubilation, and that gold leads in to this effervescent green. Effervescent green. It's going to be so refreshing. I hope this encourages you to step forward and to give yourself some delight, some joy, to begin to experience this new experience that is what determined between you and your spirit. All right. I remember. I hope I remember. Do you remember? Remember to click that like button for me, would you? Or to leave your comments or compliments down below. I'd love to hear from you. I love you.